This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to living well. I'm George Camel, joined by best-selling author Ken Coleman today, and we are taking your calls, 888-825-5225. If you're at a crossroads with your money, your life, your career, you've got a toxic boss, a toxic workplace, you're not sure what to do, should you sell the house? We are here for you to give you some confidence, some encouragement along the way. 888-825-5225. You ready to go, Ken?
Let's go. We got to get to help some people, but later in the show, I want to talk about that denim jacket.
Oh, thank you.
That's for later.
I thought Ken's very persnickety on this Friday, but I like it.
Great
He's like,
word.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Well, Liam is waiting with bated breath on the line in Chicago. Liam, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can we help?
Okay, so here's the thing. I've been in my current employer since around 2014. I feel a little bit, I'm not passionate about the work that I do, but it's a good job. The people that I work for are good people. I have a good boss. He takes care of us. But I think my life is defined more than my current pay hourly wage. Mm-hmm. And I would like to make more because I feel like I can't even afford the things that I want to get for my wife.
Mm. How much do you make right now, Liam?
All said and done, it's around $45K a year.
Yeah, man. You are worth so much. First of all, there's no value you can put on a human. You're invaluable. But as far as your earning potential, yeah, man, we need to be doubling that and being on a path to doing that soon. How does that sound?
That's fair and all. The only reason why I am hesitant to even look for a lateral move or something significantly more is that my daughter has special needs. Okay. And the insurance of my employer has been a lifesaving. If I didn't have the insurance we had for her, we would be destitute.
Totally understand.
4 brain surgeries before the age of 4.
Oh, my gosh. How is her health right now? What is the long-term prognosis? What can they tell you? What are they telling you?
Well, she was diagnosed for epilepsy at 47 days old.
Oh, my goodness.
And we've been on and off. Each one of these surgeries there was some respite, and then it comes back. Mm-hmm. We just had a surgery back in March.
Okay. So not real sure. Is that the answer? Really not sure if or how many
it's 50-50.
Surgeries? Yeah. So it's possible she could have more surgeries.
If that or just doctor said there's nothing else they can do.
Okay. Well, first of all, my heart breaks as a daddy. I get that, and I hate that, and I understand the fear. But I want to challenge the fear a little bit. But I want to do it with some numbers, not with a rah-rah speech. How does that sound?
That sounds fair.
All right. Now, you have a pretty good idea about what these surgeries and what these procedures cost, or you have a very good idea of what percentage of the expenses that your current healthcare plan and your benefits cover, correct? You got a pretty good idea what your deductible is. So you're a pro at this now, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yes.
There we go. So here's the deal. As you begin to look outward, keep in mind, we're not leaving. We're not leaving. We are not going to put your benefits in any kind of jeopardy at all. But what we are doing when we are looking is we're going to have conversations and we're going to say, hey, what's the health plan like? And you don't have to lead with, my daughter has had all of these surgeries. That's none of their business. But you can ask informed questions in the interview process, and certainly when somebody makes you an offer. And you can ask questions. Hey, I want to get a good idea. Benefits matter to me. People understand that. That's not an outrageous statement. And so you can find out, the trigger points that you're looking for. So you ask questions around those things. And my friend, if it doesn't work, walk away. But you should be not only confident that other companies have very good healthcare plans, because they do, you should also be confident that you making double what you're making right now is also going to help out with any medical expenses. So I understand the fear, but I was talking about this today on my show, George, and it's fresh. It's like the hot now sign at Krispy Kreme.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 20 minutes ago, talked to a caller about this. So Liam, I'm going to teach this to you because I think a lot of people right now in this audience, for a variety of reasons, are dealing with fear and doubt. And Liam, I want to explain to you the difference between fear and doubt. Fear is I'm afraid that something bad is going to happen. Doubt is I don't believe something good can happen. And I think you are absolutely getting crushed. The left hand, the fear monster's just jabbing you right in the face. I'm afraid of financial ruin if I take another job and my daughter has more healthcare issues and on it goes. And then doubt's coming in with the right cross over the top going, you're not going to find another company with healthcare benefits like this. Does that sound about right, Liam?
That sounds about right.
All right, now here's the deal.
I don't believe I'm even educated.
You're not. You're not. And that's the answer. You ready for this?
Sure.
When we have fear and doubt, we need to, George, we put them on paper and we write them out so we can see what specifically am I afraid of. So Liam, I'm not going to make you do this on the air, but this is the exercise. You have to write down, I am afraid of, I doubt, and you write it down. Now, underneath the voice of fear and doubt, folks, you've got to understand that there's something under the surface. And what's under the surface of fear and doubt is a lack of information. The unknown. And so when I look at the voice of fear and I look at the voice of doubt and I go, okay, what's driving me nuts here is that I've left my brain to the vacuum of the unknown, and just all these horrible things are running around like it's a skating rink. All the what ifs. So what you have to do, Liam, in this case, is specifically begin to look out for jobs and look for healthcare benefits and put yourself out there knowing that we're going to go date, but we don't have to marry a company. And if we find out it's the right marriage and we get answers to the healthcare question and we get answers to, can I grow in this job? Will somebody want me? Will somebody pay me more than $40,000 a year? You've got several unknowns that you're allowing to paralyze you, like you're in a dark cave and you can't see your face, your hand in front of your face, and that paralyzes us all. So we shed light in the cave when we put on the flashlight or we have a torch. Now we can see and now we can move. And so you've got to do this right now. You have some specific questions that you need answers to. And George, when he gets those answers, here's what happens. You get clarity, and then clarity breeds confidence. And confidence breeds courage to move forward. When I'm clear, I'm confident that I should go, that I can go, I know how I'm going to go. And then when life throws the next surgery your way, Liam, we have courage to walk through it because, hey, we've done the homework. We know where we're supposed to be. We know the income we can make. And so that's what I want to encourage you with today.
Beautiful. Liam, how do you feel?
Feels good.
I'll take that.
Liam,
I'll take that.
Start looking today. Looking doesn't mean you're leaving your safety. We don't leave, folks. Financially, the Ramsey Show, we're never going to tell you to leave.
Get the boat close to the dock.
Yeah.
You just step onto it.
Yeah, this is not an extreme sport here.
And Liam, hang on the line. Austin's going to pick up. I'm going to send you a copy of Ken's book, From Paycheck to Purpose. I think it'll be another tool in your tool belt for encouragement along the way as you find that new job.
Let's also give him, Austin, a link to the Get Clear Career Assessment so we can give him some ideas.
He's getting the whole kit and caboodle.
Let's do the package.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use Netsuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use Netsuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because Netsuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Ken Coleman, and we are taking your calls about money, career, life. It's all here on the Ramsey Show. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. All right, Ken, last night, it was epic.
Big
we did
night, live stream.
Real estate reality check with Dave, Rachel, and myself right out there in the lobby.
Yeah.
It was electric.
Was it? I didn't watch it.
There were
feel
charts.
like I have to confess.
There were graphs. There were Tesla jokes.
Really?
It was all in there.
Oh, Dave doesn't like the Teslas.
He's not a fan.
And he was
Here's what
surrounded by 2 Tesla owners.
By his own data, he said that driving in a Tesla, there's a higher chance of dying than skydiving.
He made that up.
Well, he said he pulled some data. He said he did a Google, and that many people die in Teslas because they burn up on the streets.
I bet you I know what he did. I think Dave probably got creative, and he looked at some car accident. You know how often car accidents happen?
Oh, yeah.
Versus skydiving, and he just went, okay, well, I'm going to apply this to Tesla. So in his mind, it was technically correct, a little bit of a stretch, but, he's Dave.
Yeah.
He's Dave.
He calls it a battery with 4 wheels because it doesn't go vroom, vroom. He doesn't think it's a real car.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I want to know if Rachel has gotten him in the car.
I was wondering that
ride.
as well. He dogged Rachel and I for both driving Teslas.
You know what I feel like, guys? For our YouTube guys, I feel like the people want to see Dave riding shotgun with Rachel or George in the Tesla. The audience out in the lobby is
they want to see.
There's a resounding response out there. So this is what the people want. It'd be a great YouTube video.
Well, all Tesla jokes aside, the event was great, and the good news is a lot of people are reaching out to me saying, hey, I couldn't watch it live. The good news is the replay is up. So you can go to RamseySolutions.com/realitycheck, watch the replay. It's an hour long, and it's worth it. It's very encouraging. There's a lot of anger, a lot of frustration.
I'm going to go watch it. I'm not in the real estate mode. But I want to watch it. But,
I appreciate that.
I wasn't able to watch it last night because I was on the golf course.
You'll have a good time.
I was trying to wrap up 9 holes there before the sun set.
How'd it go?
Yeah, I hit the ball pretty good. Huh?
You hit par?
Did I hit par?
Is that what they say?
Folks, this is, God love him. I've got so much training to do, folks. He's such a bright, charming guy and knows nothing about sport, and I don't judge him for that.
He talks a big game, but who did I beat in mini golf, Ken?
This is a true story.
Let me remind you.
All right, later in the program, we'll tease this. Later in the hour, there was a time where George technically beat me at mini golf. And he holds it over me.
There's no technicalities. It was a wash. All right. Let's move to the calls.
That doesn't make sense either.
That's what the people are here for.
They're here for wisdom.
They don't want to hear
wit.
how good I am at putt-putt. They want to hear life-changing calls. Here
Let's
we go. Lindsay joins us in Texarkana. Lindsay, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank y'all for taking my call.
Sure.
Absolutely. What's going on?
So my husband and I recently moved, and with our move, we were able to sell our home. We made a pretty decent profit on it, and now we're currently renting in our new city until we can find something we want to buy. And there's 50 acres that recently came up for sale that we're interested in, and we're trying to decide if we should buy it in cash or if we should finance it so that we have more money to put down as a down payment to build with.
What's it cost, the 50 acres?
$125,000, so $2,500 an acre.
Wow.
And how much money do you have in cash?
A little over $200,000.
Nice. Does that include your emergency fund?
No.
Okay. So outside of that, you've got $200 to throw into this real estate deal. So if you paid cash for it, you'd have $75 left over to start building.
Yes.
And how long would it take to build? And how much would it cost?
It's costing anywhere from like around 150 to 180 a square foot here. Building would probably take a year, maybe a little bit less.
Okay, so 1 year to build, but you're not sure the cost of it. Are we talking $200,000, $300,000, $400,000?
Probably between $300,000 and $400,000.
Okay. So you'd be
We
taking
haven't
on...
gotten actual bids to build yet.
Yeah. Well, I would pay cash for the acreage and then try to cash flow as much as you can along the journey. And then whatever mortgage you might have to take out for the build, that's what I would do.
Yeah. 50 acres. I mean, is there more to this than just having a plot to put a house on? Because obviously that's a lot of acreage.
Well, we'd like to farm it eventually.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
So this is the dream, is you want to run this 50-acre piece of land, farm it out, live on it.
See, that's what I wanted to know, George. So, Lindsay, like when this thing popped, when you guys saw this, I want to know what was the reaction and the conversation like between you and the Hubs?
Well, we've been looking for acreage for a while, and we found this place and really liked it. It seems like it's got good ground and it's not in a low spot or anything, which is what we've ran into so far.
So you've done your research.
We're pretty excited.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
See, I like George's play here. You guys are really excited. I think George is right. I'd jump on it if you do all of the due diligence. I mean, I think you're a very smart person. I think you guys are very savvy. I would do all the due diligence to make sure that this thing, again, perks for what you want it to perk for, right? Based on the size house, maybe eventual expansion. Is it good soil to farm? I would do all the due diligence, but because you guys were so excited about even looking at it, and this is your destination, feels like to me, I would jump on it. Because even if you had to live in a trailer on that land for 2 years, I'm not suggesting you do that, but I'm saying like this is you have the cash to buy it outright. And a good chunk to put down on building. And to George's point,
now you'd have to get a construction loan. Would you be able to do that?
I think so.
Okay.
Do your homework.
I would look into those pieces of it so you don't get halfway through this and go, oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to do this. So I would get the numbers on paper to take away all the unknowns, all the fear, to where you go, okay, we can afford this. We're going to do a 15-year fixed, less than 25% of our take-home pay with that strong down payment. We're going to pay cash for this land. I think it's a great plan.
Okay.
Proud of you guys.
Well, I
Way to go.
appreciate it.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Love to hear that.
George and I want to come out and do a hunting trip because, George loves to hunt.
Never done it. What are we hunting? Pheasant? What's out there?
Oh, I like that you pulled pheasant. That was a pretty good
it
pull.
felt right. I don't know
I'm very
why.
impressed with that.
I don't know what they got in Ark. I know they got hogs.
Yeah, well, the wild hogs would be fun.
I don't think you can hunt those.
Sure you can.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and you got deer, of course. Have you ever had venison,
Ken's
George?
just going to start naming every animal he can think of.
No, I actually like the
I've
deer.
had some venison. I've had venison jerky.
Yeah, venison is very lean, very healthy meat. And but you got to get up early, George. You got to get up early to get in the tree stand.
See, they go, yeah, let's go. It's 4 a.m. Let's get out there. I go, no way. I'm sleeping in. Nothing is worth this.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ken, I got to mention the jobs here at Ramsey Solutions. A lot of people
hiring.
They reach out to me and they go, hey, can you get me a job? They're trying to do proximity principle, but in a weird way. They'll just send me a cold message on LinkedIn
that's
saying,
not the right way to do it.
I want to work at Ramsey. Can you help me out?
Yeah, right.
But I will say, we talk a lot about our mission over here to change America's toxic money culture. And it makes us mad to see people get trapped by debt and this whole toxic culture out there with leadership, with career. And we're on a mission to change lives. And if that's a passion that you share with us, you got to check out all the exciting roles here at Ramsey Solutions. We are looking to fill a ton of them right now. There's never been a better time to find a job doing work that matters. And specifically, we need some great developers, some user experience designers, and writers to help us build all of these digital products that change lives.
Can I tell you a job that we're about ready to post if we haven't posted?
Tease it.
Looking for an associate producer of the Ken Coleman Show.
Whoa.
Screening calls, working on the show, helping people. So, that's a broadcasting thing. I'm just telling you. I don't know if it's posted yet, but it's coming.
Yeah, well, if that suits your needs.
How about that?
Go check these out. RamseySolutions.com/careers. You can also see what it's like to work with us before you ever apply. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching Ramsey Careers. And there's a lot. People think, oh, well, what do they do around here? We have literally every position imaginable.
Yeah.
Our team is over 1,000 people.
That's right.
From customer care to writers to developers to creative folks to the super nerdy folks, the data analysts. You name it, we got it. So check it out. If you want to work with Ken Coleman and I, that is living the dream.
How about that? Well, I don't know about that. They get to decide that. But I know there is a person that works on your wardrobe.
That is true.
That's a high-stress position if you know George.
Oh, my goodness. The level of drama we went through yesterday for wardrobe.
Unbelievable.
That's why they call me a diva.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, hey, we got more of your calls coming up. 888-825-5225. Join us. This is The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
This is the Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel. Next to me, my friend Ken Coleman. We are taking your calls, 888-825-5225. But we interrupt the scheduled programming to bring to you a debt-free scream. On the stage, we've got Dave and Holly. How are you?
Good.
Doing
How are
great.
you?
Where are you guys from?
Outside Philadelphia.
Wonderful.
The city of brotherly love.
Yes.
Oh, Ken's a
Yes.
big history buff. You
Yeah.
can go all day about the Liberty Bell. Don't get him started. So, guys, all the way here to do a debt-free scream. How much debt did you pay off?
Yes, sir. We paid off $117,335
Wow.
in 28 months.
Whoa.
And what was your range of income during that time?
We were right around $120,000.
Awesome. What do you guys do for a living?
My primary profession is a teacher, teach health and phys ed at our local high school. And then also I work at our church and also paint and power wash on the side.
Wow. Busy guy.
Yeah.
Can I just say
Fantastic.
quickly, George, that it's nice to see a PE phys ed teacher that looks the part.
Yes, that is true.
Can I just say-
I chuckled a little bit in my mind because I went, he actually looks the part.
Yeah,
for
like
once.
if I'm a senior or junior who's got a bad attitude about push-ups, I'm gonna pay attention. This guy looks like he's done a few.
I could outrun all of my PE teachers growing up, so this
yeah.
guy I could not outrun.
My
I can't
PE
fit in your-
teachers growing up couldn't get up the stairs.
Were you going to say you can't fit in my skinny jeans?
I was.
That's a sick burn.
Hey, George, like one of your legs is all of George's gene combined.
All right.
That's what's going
Chicken
on.
leg Coleman over here.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, guys, back to your story. That's what we're here for. So what type of debt was the $117,000?
Before we say that, my wife is also a ministry coordinator at our church.
Oh,
nice.
that's great.
You guys are plugged in.
We are.
That's awesome. You get to
So-
work together in that capacity.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
it's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So our debt was primarily student loans. We had $8,800 in our car, and then the rest was all student loans.
Wow.
Yeah.
Heavy on the student loans. Whose degrees were they?
Well, mostly mine because I was a nurse for 10 years before I quit and started working for our church. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Cool. Okay, so you guys decided 28 months ago, we're not going to wait around for forgiveness. We're just going to get rid of this thing. How'd you get started on this journey and plugged into us?
Well, the summer before in 2019, I'm a saver. And he's more of a free spirit in that aspect. So he was like, let's build a paver patio. And I was like, great, let's do it. Do we have the money? And he was like, yeah, we'll be fine. And I'm like, okay, great. So we got into the project, and then we realized maybe we weren't so fine. And that just sent me into a panic. And then in January, our church offered financial peace. And I was like, we were both like, we need to do something. Because one month we would have way over what we needed. And then the next month we wouldn't have anywhere near what we needed. So we started in January of 2020, which was such a blessing because that was right before the world shut down. And if we wouldn't have done that, we would have totally panicked and not been able to survive. So
Wow.
That's awesome.
Without knowing it, we were Dave-ish. Didn't believe in credit cards. I read one of Dave's books long ago from a friend, and I was like, that's good advice, but education loans, that's necessary. Like a car loan, that's necessary. And then after taking those classes, we were like, no, this isn't necessary.
We know
there's
too much now.
Yeah.
There's such a better
Yeah.
way.
Ignorance was bliss.
yes.
And then we realized we're broke. Maybe we should learn something.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So proud of you guys. So what was the hardest part of this journey for you?
I guess the hardest part was the last push. We had several smaller loans that we got that snowball rolling, and it felt really good. We had some money saved initially that we were able to throw at it right away, and that kind of gave us like a jump start. But that last debt was like over $40,000.
Ouch.
And so even as we're rolling our snowball into it, we're like, this feels like it's going to take forever. And so that last push was hard, but it was also fantastic. We had like the little chains set up in our house so the kids could help us cut off the chains, and we have like little prize chains that we got every 10,000. We were like, okay, here we're going to do a little celebration, and here we're going to do a little celebration to push through.
Wow. So I want to stay where you are talking about how hard it was. You're talking about the push. If you wouldn't mind, I want you to share, maybe both of you, what was specifically, like really specific, what was so hard in that last push? Was it maybe a fear of missing out? Was it, I mean, I want to know what the real challenge was, whether it was mental, emotional. What was tough for you guys in that last push?
Well, I just think like when you're building momentum, you're excited, you're like, yay, yay. And then it just seemed so big. And so like all of our friends were like, we're doing this. And we're like, we paid off so much. We're so close and yet so far. So our friends like always wanted us to do stuff. And we're like, sorry, we're still working hard. So, and it was hard because, I mean, the Lord provided lots of opportunities for us, but like he was working all the time. So, because, I mean, he doesn't tell you he also coaches wrestling, and he was like picking up side jobs. He'd be like, so what are we doing this Saturday? And he'd say, you want to come paint and power wash with me? And so that's how we spent a lot of our weekends, and the kids came with us. So painting and power washing as a family has become, something.
That's so cool.
We
say more is caught than taught, and I bet those kids saw some really cool stuff with that kind of work ethic and discipline and sacrifice.
Yeah.
That sticks with them.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw the Lord's provision time and time again, and not in a, God just gives you money, but in a God provided opportunities for us to work. And then he gave us the discipline to be able to put it in the right place.
Wow. I want to pause there, Ken. This is interesting. The opportunity was not a winning lottery ticket. It was God provided an opportunity for work.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't see that.
He's working all the time. And not only is that hard physically, that gets to be hard mentally and emotionally. When you don't see those cute kiddos, your beautiful wife, and you start going, goodness gracious, and yet you keep pressing on. What is that? What is that you've just walked through it. I want you to tell people who feel right now, they're where you guys are. They still have 40,000, 60,000, 100,000 left. They go, we've paid off a lot, but it feels like we're never going to get to the top of the mountain. I think you can preach right now. What kept you going? Power washing, painting, never seeing the wife and the kids.
I mean, Dave says all the time that no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. And that is so true. That while in the moment it's not pleasant, you know that what's on the other side of that is totally worth it. I think this course and this whole program is so aptly named Financial Peace, that you can experience peace outside of finances, even in all of your life, when you know that together as a family you're heading towards the same goal.
Yeah, I think it's important too. Like we changed their future and like our future. So like we took all of like, our parents were always like, yeah, like debt is good and it's okay to have debt and you need a credit score. And we're like now in this place where we can say to our kids, that's not where you want to be. Like you can do this without it. And so we've been super blessed to be able to, change their lives. And that's like the motivator.
I love that. We'll bring them up on the stage. What's their names and ages? Who do we got with us today?
All right. We have Mara, and she is 5. And this is Levi, and he's 7.
Cute. I love it. And they're not scared of work. They've been seeing Dad and Mom hustle on the weekends, and they love it. Guys, we're so proud of you.
Thank you.
We've got a copy of Dave's #1 book, Baby Steps Millionaires. That's your next chapter, as you said, changing your family tree, not just financially, but their character. And you've seen that, and you've walked this walk, and we're so proud to have you guys. We also have a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away to your friends who are confused why you couldn't go out and hang out with them and eat out, and you go, this is why. This book changed our life. On top of that, we're going to give you Financial Peace University and Every Dollar, all part of Ramsey Plus for a whole year. You can give that away or go through it again. We just updated it with some new lessons.
Awesome.
Maybe the kids can enjoy it too. All right.
Before we do that, can we just give a shout out real quick to
Sure.
a couple people, our friends that are with us, Kaylee and Ducky. We have some folks at home, Aaron and Kelsey, who walked through this with us, and then also Keith and Stacy, who are on the other side and encouraged us, saying it's good, get there.
I love it. Got to have those cheerleaders.
Yeah, thank
All
you.
right, let's get to it. It's Dave and Holly, Levi, and Mara from the Philadelphia area. $117,355 paid off in 28 months, making $120K. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Wow, a lot of power from little Mara and Levi.
Hey, they practiced and they performed. They brought it.
because they were a part of this journey.
Love that.
That was
so
visceral.
Beautiful.
That's what this is all about, guys. If you think you can't do it, watch the show, listen to these stories. These are everyday people just like you who decided things don't have to stay the same. And we believe you can do it too. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. It's a show about you, your life, your money, your career, everything that matters to you. We want to help. I'm George Camel, joined today by Ken Coleman. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. Zack joins us up next in Greensboro, North Carolina. Zack, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What's going on?
I'm 14.
Oh,
So I'm 14,
nice.
and I'm calling because I started a business 5 weeks ago
Cool.
where I unload the cars of vacationers.
What?
This business has
Hold
profited
on
from
a
it.
second. Hold on. This is fantastic. Describe this in a little more detail.
So what I do is I put a post out on Facebook, and I work with people to set up a time for me to come over and unload their car for them.
When they get back from vacation.
Yes, sir.
I did not know this was a business opportunity. So what are you charging?
25 for a car and 35 for an SUV or a van.
Wow. How many people have you got to do this?
I've unloaded about 20 cars and made almost $1,000 in profit.
Oh,
Wow.
my goodness.
And is this exclusively in your neighborhood, or is it kind of branching out in your area?
It branches out a bit, but I'm staying pretty close.
I'm impressed. So are these like elderly people? Like, why can't they unload their own cars? Just a convenience
A
thing?
lot of people I work with are either elderly or have had some medical surgery.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what I was wondering. 'Cause,
All
like
right.
Ken Coleman can unload his car. He might like the convenience of someone doing it for him.
Ken Coleman's got 3 teenagers, 2 of which are boys, and I tell you who's unloading the car, and they're doing it for
That's
free
right.
because I give them food.
Good for you, Zach. So, how can
this
we help
is-
today?
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm calling to ask if I should put this into my car fund or if I should invest any of it.
Oh, wow.
Well, my feelings on 14-year-olds investing are that you need to invest in Zach right now, and you're doing a great job of that, starting your own business, this entrepreneurial journey. So I would put it towards your current goals. Investing is a long-term thing, and you've got plenty of time to do that, and I have a feeling you'll do very well in that arena. But right now, I want you to focus on the next 4, 5, 6 years of what your future looks like. So that means getting a car, paying cash for it, a reasonable used car, being able to cash flow any kind of education you get in the future. And then once you've got your career set out, whether that's after you go to college or if you skip that and go down the entrepreneurial path, that's what I would be doing. So I would definitely save that for a car.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach, I must ask, because I think a lot of adults could learn from young Zach. I really do.
Yeah.
So, Zach, I'm curious how you came up with the idea, because now that you've told me specifically who your target audience is, that leads me to believe you heard about the need, or were you brainstorming, hey, I wonder how I can make some money? What about people that are older? What about people who have some medical issues and they can't pick up their bags? How did you come up on this idea?
So I heard about the need, and
Where?
I just thought,
Where did you hear about the need?
on Facebook. My mom was actually telling me about it because I'm not on Facebook.
Right, good for you. Yeah. And so she just read some stories, some posts where, tell me a little bit more.
She saw a post on a group, basically asking if they had this service.
Wow. And so when she mentioned it to you, like, how quickly did you go, I'm going to try that? Did you kick it around a little bit? Well, what happened?
I kicked it around a little bit, but I'd been looking for a job, and I always had loved the idea of starting my own business. So when I heard about the idea, it was a pretty easy decision.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, I want to add one little
It's a very mature 14-year-old, I might add.
It is.
He's not out there. Are you playing video games, Zach? Are you enjoying your childhood?
Yes, sir. I'm definitely enjoying my childhood.
Yeah, he doesn't
Good.
strike me as somebody like you that was a shut-in. You know what I mean? He's got a life, George. But Zach, let me ask you this: you've always wanted to own your own business, so I want to add. George's advice was great. But I would be saving every penny besides some fun stuff and the car. So like just a 14-year-old Zach, you got some spending money, and then everything else to the car. But then once I saved up for the car, I would be putting every penny, besides just fun stuff for Zach, into the future Zack Inc. And what I mean is that I think the more you do this and you work for yourself and you help people out, I think ideas are going to formulate, or you're going to realize, wait a second, I can do very well at this and get myself to a position where I can be a teen entrepreneur by doing multiple business starts while you're still in high school. So I love you saving to give you options, because I just think you're that kind of kid.
Yeah. But it sounds like you know what's next, and then that's your next goal, is saving up to pay cash for that car.
Yes, sir.
Call us back. Let us know what it is.
Yeah, I want to know what kind of
follow
car.
your journey, Zach.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Good for you. This gives me a lot of hope for the next generation, Ken.
Listen, I'm the resident Gen Xer here on the show today.
Yeah. And you have teenagers.
I have teenagers. I get a little upset when people of my generation or boomers, just kind of randomly paint younger generations with a broad brush. They did it a lot with millennials, your generation.
Yeah. They go, they don't like to work.
And I think that's garbage. You're an example. You're one of the hardest workers I know. Your path to being a Ramsey personality was one of perseverance and hard work. And I just think that, you look at these 14-year-olds, and we shouldn't be so shocked, because character is in every generation. And he's got character. He's got some gumption. He's got a vision for the future. And we shouldn't be so shocked, and paint people with a broad brush. So
I love it.
Very interesting stuff.
Thanks for the call, Zach. Appreciate it. Gabby joins us up next in Orlando. Gabby, welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help today?
So my husband and I are on baby steps 4, 5, and 6, and we're super excited and we're focused. We have looked into the SmartVestor Pros, and we have interviewed 5 of them and have narrowed it down to 2.
Wow, way to go.
They're both giving very similar advice that aligns with what Dave would recommend. We really like them both, and so I'm having a hard, and they both also have the heart of a teacher. So I'm just having a hard time, picking which one would be best for our, retirement and future. And I just didn't know if you guys could help us make that final decision.
Sure. We've got a great resource online on our website about, interviewing the financial advisors. But at this point, they're going to give you the same advice, probably put you in about the same funds. And so it really comes down to, what's the expense ratios? What are the fees? Who do we want to go with long term?
I have a question, Gabby. Do you have a choice, and does your husband have a different choice, or are you both presenting as we're torn? I got to know. Come on, Gabby, tell me.
Yes.
What is it?
We're both in the same boat.
You're both torn.
I know it's not the juicy answer, but we're both torn.
Wow.
And my husband has the mindset where if whatever I feel like I'm more whatever person I feel is best, he thinks as well.
Okay, so let's put you on the spot.
It makes it very hard.
No, it's really easy. So you're the one that called Gabby, and it feels like you're the most heavy vote in the house. Your husband is, by the way, this is a smart husband, George.
Oh, yeah.
Happy wife, happy life. Your husband's no idiot, Gabby. So he's kind of put it in your boat. I think you're leaning towards one or the other, and I want you to, for a moment, suspend all of the technical knowledge, heart of the teacher, all that. I just want you to think about your personal connection when you sat with both. Can you do that? Run it through your head right now. You doing it?
Okay.
All right. Which one do you just seem to like a little bit more? Personal connection.
Well,
nope. You already selected. When I asked you the question, you selected one, didn't you, Gabby?
One I'm leaning towards is giving me like the most advice and explaining it really well, but the other one seems to be more like kind of like an aunt type relationship.
There it is. Now let me ask a question, Gabby, and I don't mind being wrong. You can tell me if I'm wrong on the air. When I asked you the question, your brain selected the aunt type figure. True or false?
It did, but I feel like that's the wrong answer.
No, it's not the wrong answer. It's not the wrong answer. It's not the wrong answer. Here's why. The other one gave good information. So does the aunt like. But the aunt is the personal connection, and that's the key, I think, between this situation.
There's
tough choice.
There.
Go with the trust and the connection.
Follow your heart, Gabby. There it is. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. Do you love a good Dave rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
From the Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to living well. I'm George Camel, joined today by best-selling author and host of The Ken Coleman Show. You guessed it, Ken Coleman. And we are here to take your call, America, on your money, your life, whatever you're grappling with, career changes. We would love to help. So give us a call, 888-825-5225. Molly is kicking us off in Phoenix, Arizona. Molly, welcome to the show. There's Molly.
Hi, George. How are you doing today?
So great. We're happy to take your call. What's going on?
So essentially the question is, what is more important, what you do or where you live?
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
What has brought you to this crossroads, Molly?
So I currently live in Phoenix, Arizona. I went to school here, and I work with air permitting consulting. So a good portion of that is state-specific. So my experience in my job is state-specific, and I've only been with my firm for a year and a half, so you're supposed to do that whole 3 to 5 years thing. However, my sister is 4 months pregnant in North Carolina. And if I wasn't worried about how would this look on my resume, does my job experience apply, I'd be in North Carolina right now.
Okay, I understand the right now, but what happens when the baby comes? Is this like, I want to be near my sister as long as she has a child? Play that out a little bit more, because that's a strong statement.
So it is just the two of us. So I've got the one sister, and then her husband is also a single child. So it's a small family, and the parents aren't really in the picture. So I want to be there to help out and to be involved in my niece or nephew's lives.
Okay. And I understand that. So you're saying your niece and nephew, their parents aren't involved? They're not there? Are
No.
you talking about the grandparents?
The potential grandparents, yes.
Gotcha.
Sorry,
Okay.
Okay. She hasn't figured out if it's a girl or boy yet.
Okay,
So it's
I
just
gotcha.
niece or
So
nephew.
the struggle is I want to move to North Carolina, but my career field doesn't exist there.
The career field exists, but I'd be essentially starting from scratch as
No, you're not. You
The
have experience in this
regulations-
field.
No.
You just said you've been there a year and a half?
yes.
There's no golden rule that says you have to do it for 3 years to get a job.
Unless
It's, lots of the regulations are state specific. So
Okay.
I'm worried that if I just up and go to North Carolina, that I will be starting my learning curve over.
Okay, so do you know this for a fact? Have you looked up the North Carolina regulations in the field that you're in?
Yes.
And?
So it's the federal regulations are, of course, the same, but Arizona and North Carolina have different stances on environmental regulations
Right,
due solely to the environment.
Right, but what I'm saying is, are you in any way disqualified from being able to do what you do now in Arizona, doing that in North Carolina? Are you not experienced enough? Is there some sort of state regulation that makes it very hard for you to step from Phoenix to North Carolina and do the work you want to do?
No.
Okay, then. So you've concocted a monster under the bed, and there's no monster there. There's no monster.
And there's no harm in exploring and interviewing and going, hey, let me see if there's a job out there in North Carolina that'll take me.
Yeah, like make it my full-time hobby. To when you're not working, sleeping, eating, hanging with friends and family, you are looking and trying to interview and get an offer in North Carolina. Because you don't have to marry these companies if they make you an offer, but you got to dig, you got to look for opportunities. And here's the other thing. I would not limit yourself to that industry unless you're saying that is your dream industry.
Okay, so look in North Carolina for a job, and then once I have one, move then.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless...
Well, sure, your fear is you're not going to be able to get a job there, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's nonsense. This is the hottest job market that we've ever seen in the United States, Molly. Can I give you some data real quick to help kind of assure you? We are at 3.6% unemployment right now. And I'll give you a real picture of this as we look across the nation. We have about 11.3 million, 11.4 million jobs available in the United States right now, and about 8.6, 8.7 million people unemployed. Those numbers change month to month, but it's about that. And so that's why we're seeing what they call this crazy job market where companies can't find people. So all of a sudden, Molly, you are a very talented woman. True or false?
True?
Yeah. Well, that didn't sound
That wasn't
very
a question
confident.
mark. We need
We're
an
gonna have to work
exclamation
on
point.
that for the old interview. All right, I'm going to ask you that again. I want you to say that with some juice.
Pretend Ken is the interviewer.
Yeah, Molly, you're a very talented woman, correct?
Correct.
There we go. That's going to play well. All right, now listen. Here's the point. You have talent, you have experience to offer. I also saw, George, a headline yesterday because I am, as you know, an avid news reader. And Molly, the state of North Carolina is the healthiest state economy in the United States, the most business-friendly state. That's what was reported. They've got a lot going on in North Carolina. It is a super, super attractive job market. You have the benefit of having friends and family in that area of North Carolina where you would like to be, so you are not starting from scratch with connections. True or false?
True.
There we go. So we look and we get opportunities offered to us and we decide, is it the right opportunity? But there's no risk here. The riskiest thing you could do is if you were to move there sight unseen with no job and live with your sister because you guys get along so great, and that would be a safe landing route. But even that's not risky. So start looking.
And Molly, let's play out the worst case scenario. Worst case, let's say the regulation is you got to be there 3 years. So that's a year and a half away, which means your niece or nephew at that point is a year old or so, which means you step into their life full-time locally from 1 year old until the rest of their life. That's the worst case scenario. Correct?
Yeah, that doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah. And so
Molly.
either way, you're fine. But I know your heart is to be with family.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to be about the business of doing everything I can do to get to North Carolina as soon as possible. But we're going to bring the boat close to the dock and have the job before we step.
So Molly, back to your original question when you opened up the conversation. What's more important, what I'm doing or where I live? And you've created a false choice. You can live where you want to live and do what you want to do. Ding, ding, ding. Tell her what she's won, George.
You've won a prize of living your best life.
Oh, very
There you
nice.
go.
Very
There
nice.
it is. Ken, but there's a lot.
You know, it's a false choice.
Yeah, the heart behind it is important for people to realize. A lot of people out there, there's a lot of doubt right now. People don't believe that they can have it all, that they can do what they want to do, get paid well to do it, live where they want to live. And the numbers, the data shows us otherwise. It's a hot job market, a lot of talented folks out there. Now's the time if you want to make a jump, but do it wisely.
George, you model this. People don't know. You wanted to be in Nashville. You wanted
That's
to work
right.
for Ramsey Solutions. You figured out a way to do it. You did the hard work. You worked your way up. And today, here you sit
Next to Ken
in
Coleman.
a dream denim jacket that you always wanted to wear.
I never dreamed I'd be wearing denim next to Ken Coleman.
Yeah, well,
but here we
is-
are.
That's true. Nobody's dreamed of that, actually.
Oh, I love it. More of the
Ever.
show coming up. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined by Ken Coleman today. You know, there's so much crazy stuff going on, and people are looking for direction on how to handle their finances day to day, but they're also struggling to see how it's even possible to build wealth. So at our Building Wealth live event, we walk you through all the crazy and teach you the steps to build real, lasting wealth. And the principles we teach here are the only principles that work in prosperous times and in hard times. And no matter where you are with your money today, you can get on a path to building wealth. We're going to show you how. The Building Wealth Live Tour has already made a couple of great stops in Vegas and Orlando, wrapping up our spring portion, but we're just getting started. We've got a bunch of cities this fall. Phoenix on September 13th. We are almost sold out in Phoenix, so go ahead and grab your tickets there. Sacramento on November 1st, almost sold out there as well. Headed to Minneapolis on November 10th, and then we are rounding it out in beautiful San Antonio on November 15th. So please join us if you're near those areas. If you can get there, it's a great time. Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, Ken Coleman, Dr. John Deloney, and myself, we'll all be there. It'll be a party. Can't wait to see you guys. Event passes start at just $25, or you can get a 4-pack of passes starting at $60. So bring your friends. We're going to have a good time. RamseySolutions.com/events is the place to reserve your seats now. And Ken, fun fact, not only do we do the event, but there's like a pre-show with you and Deloney where you guys have a special segment. You take questions. It's powerful.
We talk about the natural tension between your professional obligations and your relationship responsibilities, right? Mm-hmm. There's a tension between, you know what, I'm going for it, or maybe we have two working people in the house, in the marriage. What's that like? So we talk about relationships and work and the tension on both sides of those things. And so we just talk really for only about 5-10 minutes, John and I, and then we take questions the entire time. It's just like a free-for-all. And it's been a lot of fun.
That's where some of the magic happens, is in those Q&A portions.
Yeah, boy, I tell you what, I'm really excited about these cities.
Great cities.
Phoenix is crazy. The response there, it's so hot, and no pun intended. And boy, but I'm a little nervous about Minneapolis in November.
Oh, yeah. Could be dangerous.
Well, I want you to pack your turtleneck. I think that's probably a good idea.
Turtlenecks.
No, I don't want
There
to
we
match
go.
you. No.
You signed up for this. Well, it's a lot of fun. I'm so glad we're back on the road, Ken.
Yeah,
I missed it.
Yeah, the crowds have been amazing. So there's something special that happens in community. We know this as humans, whether it be at a church or like an FPU class. But when you get in a big arena or a big venue like some of these places we're in, it's electric. And so we'd love to see you there.
Yeah. RamseySolutions.com/events. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. Anthony joins us up next in Seattle. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Hello. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. How can we help today?
Yeah, so I'm 20 years old and I go to college. I've been very lucky with my parents, and I've worked throughout my school, pretty much in high school and through college. And I want to make sure I'm on the right path because I want to put down a down payment for a house, and I just wanted to see if I could afford it or if I should maybe move to a lower cost of living area, or if I'm just rushing.
You're still in college right now?
Yeah, I graduate next spring.
Wow.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Cool.
What professional path are you planning to head on?
Yeah, operations management, so lean, pretty much.
Okay.
What was that? I didn't catch that.
Operations management?
Yeah, like lean, continuous improvement.
Oh, gotcha.
It's
Yeah.
like business stuff.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So you can do that pretty much anywhere in the country. Do you have your sights set on a certain place? Or do you want to stay in Seattle?
Yeah. So I would like to stay around this area. I have family and a girlfriend in this area, so I would prefer it.
Okay, but you're saying, should I move to somewhere more affordable, even though I don't really want to leave, just because you've got your sights set on being a homeowner?
Yeah, because I really want to be able to afford it. I don't want to get into a bad situation.
What are you thinking about buying? What does afford mean? What kind of house, what size, what price range are we looking at?
Yeah, so either a condo or a house, probably like 2 bedrooms. Around here, I found that a good condo, decent condo is like $275,000. And then a house is like for 2 to 3 bedrooms is around $500,000.
Yeah, well, that's let me tell you something. As a single guy graduating, I know you got a girlfriend, but that's just too much house. That's just too much. George, am I too dad right now?
No, I think he's an excited 20-year-old. You're very driven. You're going to get there, but I think we pump the brakes on this right now. Let's graduate. Let's see what kind of job we get, what kind of money we make, how much money we can save up, and you can pre-decide that I'm going to save up every penny. I'm going to avoid debt because that's going to set you up to be a homeowner much faster. So I think right now it's cool that you're looking. Have that goal in the back of your mind. I would aim for that lowest common denominator. Maybe we go for the condo at $275, and we know a few years from now it's going to appreciate a little bit. So let's start saving up that down payment as we get out of college. But you're not working right now, are you? Or are you working while in school?
I am, yeah. So I've been saving up pretty much a lot. So my parents have actually given me started up a Roth IRA with $14,500 in it currently. I also have a little over 13,000 in investments, S&P 500.
Just in a taxable account outside of retirement?
Yes, outside of retirement, yes.
Okay.
And then my father has actually said, or my father and my mom has said that they are going to give me $20,000 when I graduate, which is very, very
That's nice just as a gift. Okay, so that puts you at like $33K of cash once you cash out of that investment fund. And then how much can we save up on top of that in the next few years? Maybe another $40,000?
Yeah, and my estimated income ranges from like starting income would be somewhere from like 65 and 75 from what I've heard from other people in this major.
Cool.
I'm curious, Anthony, do you feel pressure from someone, or have you created a little bit of pressure on yourself because you're so frugal and it seems like you're very, very knowledgeable about money, and you're very serious about being a very stewardess person? I'm just curious, where's this coming from? This pressure to buy a house so quickly?
I think it's more of like what I want. I've always wanted to kind of own a house and kind of be independent. And
You can be independent
it's a house.
without being a homeowner. I mean, couldn't you rent somewhere on your own?
Yeah, I definitely can. I just don't want to throw that money away and rent,
I knew we were getting there. George, why
it is.
is renting not throwing money away?
Well, you're buying yourself patience. Rent has a terrible stigma these days. I don't know what it is about it.
where's
Because
that
I could be
coming from?
putting that money towards an asset. I could own an asset. But the truth, I looked in the Constitution the other day, Ken. Nowhere in there does it say you get to be a homeowner as an American right.
George, that's a very astute point there.
I know you're a constitutionalist. So I
It's
thought I'd
not
bring that
there.
up.
You're right. The right to own a home is nowhere in the Bill of Rights.
And we're big fans of being a homeowner. It's
Big
a
fans.
huge part of building
Done
wealth.
it several times.
But there's no reason to be so gung-ho about that at 20. I think you're going to get there because of how driven you are naturally. But I would focus right now on what's the right thing for me right now. And the truth is, if you get married one day, your future wife is going to go, this ain't it. And she's going to want to move somewhere else.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with you loading up a giant pile of cash. And when you're financially ready, you can do a 15-year fixed, quarter of your take-home pay. Then I would go, all right, Anthony's ready to do it. But right now, focus on your career, focus on what kind of income you're going to have, and then make those kinds of decisions.
Yeah, Anthony, George is absolutely right. I want to give you one little little thought, maybe a mental shift for you, okay? Over the next couple of years, if you do what George said, I don't want you to be thinking about how much money you're throwing away in the form of rent. I want you to think about how renting is allowing you to save and giving you better options because you're piling up a bigger amount of money. I want you to flip the script there.
And when the toilet breaks, it's not your problem.
Oh, it's wonderful.
There's a lot of benefits to renting. I know rent's sky high and Seattle's crazy, but man, you could rent for a year or two as you save up and get established in your career and you start making more money and more margin. But if you keep living the way you're living, you're going to be a homeowner way sooner than most Americans. So we're proud of you, man. Stay the course. You got this. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. You probably knew that, but a reminder for you there. I'm George Campbell, joined by Ken Coleman today, and we are taking your calls. 888-825-5225. So, Ken, I've been posting these Instagram reels. I know you post them as well.
Yeah, and you're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
It's what I come to expect from you. Pithy and practical.
Well, I speak in tweets. It's like Proverbs. Mad respect.
Do you speak in tweets?
I'm quick with it. I don't have a lot to say, and I get to it.
Yeah.
And so I posted one earlier. It was a Southwest hack. You know me, I love money hacks. I'm a frugal
you
guy.
love to save a dime.
And here's the shocking part.
Let me hear it.
People are commenting saying, I just saved $128 thanks to your hack. I just got $62 back for a flight. I just saved $41. I just got 20,000 Southwest points back.
Already. I'd like to hear the hack. I'd like to save a buck or two.
And that's what we call a tease, Ken. You're going to have to go look for it.
I got to go to your gram?
You got to go to my gram, at George Camel with a K, Kamel.
What do I got to do?
And my wife, here's the funny part.
She doesn't even know about it?
I did the hack myself, and I got $50-something back, and I never told her. So she's commenting on my Instagram video going, wow, thanks for letting us know. but I saved her money. I didn't spend it. There's the big difference.
And I need to know, did you come up with this hack or did you borrow it and then share it?
I think I may have stumbled upon it.
Is this it right here?
Yes. So you can basically...
So it's your latest post, at George Camel. That's Camel with a K. Oh, look at you, George. You're starting to really get the old followers. Give George a follow.
I appreciate that.
You like saving
Thanks for the
money.
pitch, Ken. But really, I just love helping people, because here's the thing, Ken. Yes, you might save $1. In this case, it's a lot more than $1. But what I love is it gives people the encouragement that they can take control of their money. And they start getting creative and going, where else can I start saving some money? And all that adds up.
While you're yammering on, I'm reading your post, and I don't want to give it away, but are you telling me I've got a flight with my daughter and I, Josie, are going to my niece's wedding in August?
Yep.
I need to do what you just suggested?
Yes.
And you think, is it a guarantee that it's going to work?
No guarantees in this life.
How do you know?
What I do is I check my flights that I've already booked, because a lot of people right now, they're booking travel plans, and it's real expensive right now. And so they're worried, I'm going to book a flight, and it's not the right time. I paid too much for my flight. What if it goes down? So the hack is to go back and check to see if you can make money, save money, get money back for a flight you've already booked on Southwest.
By rebooking it.
By rebooking the same flight. Exactly.
And so, but you can see if you're going to save before you click.
Exactly. And so I walk through exactly how to do that. There you go.
Well,
There's
guess
the
what we're
tease.
doing over appetizers tonight?
That's right.
By the way, big news, James. The Colemans and the Camels going to dinner tonight after the show.
Ken,
I
people
know you're
often
very
wonder,
excited.
are they actually
hang
friends?
Out, do we hang out off-site? People
We
don't
do.
wonder. Nobody cares. But I told you anyway.
Well,
and tonight, over appetizers, I'll tell you what. I'm going to pick up the appetizer if you'll help me see if I could save money on my flight. That feels like a nice trade.
Don't threaten me with a good time. Oh, my goodness. Listen, well, here's the thing, Ken.
So go check it out. Are you sending people to Instagram?
Yeah. At George Camel with a
It's
K.
actually right there in his post. I'm very excited about
It's my
this.
first reel right there. So I thought, man, I'm hanging out with Ken for 3 hours. It's not enough.
3? Whoa, I didn't commit to 3.
That's the show, the Ramsey Show.
I thought we were talking about dinner tonight. This is awkward.
And it's just not enough. And so I thought, let's get dinner tonight after the show. And we're doing it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, Whitney's lovely, and Stacy, they love each other.
They get along.
And so George and I largely ignore each other.
We're just there to foot the bill.
100%. Yeah.
I love it. Well, we're taking your calls about life, money, career, you name it. And Mark joins us up next in Buffalo. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, you guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. How can Ken and I help?
So I'm 22 years old. I still live with my parents. I work a full-time job. I make about $52,000 a year right now. I'm about to start an online college program just to further my education and my career, which I'm going to be paying for out of pocket. I just bought a new old car, something more reliable than my last. So my next big purchase that's going to be coming up is obviously going to be a house. And so, I've been looking and I've talked to a realtor, and my question is, I have a decent amount in savings, but I also started a individual investment account back in February of 2021. So obviously it was boogieing for a while, and, it was in the green, but now not so much anymore. And I'm wondering if potentially I made a mistake. I haven't lost a ton of money. It's mostly just Vanguard ETFs.
Well, you haven't lost anything until you sell those shares.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And so do I think it's better to, or do you guys think it's better to get out of that and add that money to my savings to keep saving for a down payment? Or, my accounts, I have in just normal savings accounts, I have about $44,000. And then in my 401k through work, I have about a little over $3,000. And then in my investment account, I've put about $20,300 in, and it's currently at about $18,000. So it's in the negative. And my mentality is, I don't lose it until I sell it. But is it would it be more wise to take it out and add it to my savings, since my next big purchase is going to be a house eventually? Even though I don't need to buy it immediately, I have a good situation with my family, but I am 22 and, I'm blessed to be able to live with them for now, and we have a good relationship, so they're not kicking me out or anything. But if I can stay here until I can save up to buy one rather than, just try and get my way out and start renting first.
How much debt do you
I'd rather
have?
just wait till I can buy. No debt.
No debt at all. And you've got $44,000 in liquid savings. You got $18,000 sitting in the non-retirement investment account.
Yep.
So I would start to look at what an exit strategy looks like for mom and dad. And by then, that investment account will probably have come back. I feel good about the U.S. economy in the next year or two climbing out of this hole we've had. And I think at that point, you're going to have a big pile of cash, won't you? Probably close to, I mean, if you're living at home with no expenses, you can put away most of your paycheck.
Yeah, I've been, diligently saving for a couple of years now, but since I got the job I'm working at now, back in November, I track everything. I'm saving on average about like $1,300 to $1,600 a month.
That's great. So you're talking, $15,000, $20,000 a year you could save?
Yeah, this year alone, the first 6 months, I have already saved $13,000.
I love it. So let's say you can save $20,000 in the next year because you're hustling. Maybe you take on a side job. You got $44,000 in savings. That's $64,000. And let's say that investment account comes back to what you put in. That's another $20,000. So that's $84,000 you have as a down payment. Now we got to set aside an emergency fund, which sounds like we've got to set aside maybe 15 of that, right?
Yeah.
So let's call it $70,000 a year from now. And then I would go and look, all right, what can that get me in my area that I want to live in, Buffalo, New York, that I can put $70,000 down and on a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage have the payment be no more than a quarter of my take-home pay. So that would be my next homework assignment for you.
Right. Well, I've been thinking about it for a while now, and I had been waiting to really get into it until I got a more reliable car. But I just purchased one a month ago, and actually with the sale of my motorcycle and my old car, I came out net positive.
Great.
For the new car, which is nice. So it just depends on the area I want to live in. But because if I stay where my direct family is, in this small city, we live north of Buffalo. Houses are affordable, and I could probably get a 1,000 square foot house for $150, but where I want to live closer to the city, it's probably going to be more expensive. And I don't know, because now I'm hearing that there's going to be another 75-point basis hike.
Well, don't believe everything you hear. And even with the interest rates, you can always refinance later on. So I don't want you to focus on that. Focus on what you can afford based on those parameters. That way you're not looking at emotion, you're looking at facts. And the facts are, when it's less than a quarter of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed, you have margin. You can breathe. No matter what's going on in the economy, you've got wiggle room. That's what that's all about.
And don't settle. Don't settle for a house just because, I can afford it now. Be patient.
And if you rent for a year, it's okay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, man. But keep living debt-free. Keep saving. You're going to get there, Mark. Appreciate the call. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined by Ken Coleman. This is The Ramsey Show. It's a free call, 888-825-5225. Richard joins us up next in beautiful Chattanooga, Tennessee. Richard, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, fellas. Enjoy dinner tonight. Nashville's got a ton of great restaurants.
Yeah.
Thank you, Richard.
And thank you, Richard. George is showing me one of his favorite haunts in his neck of the woods, so I'm on George's home turf. Yeah, it's very exciting.
Uh-oh.
I know. How can we help today?
I just need you to hold my hand through this. I've got a very athletic daughter who is going to go to school next year. Doesn't get a lot of money for athletics, but we got the tally this week that it's going to be, after an academic scholarship of $15,000+, it's going to be $38,000 a year.
A year.
And we have sacrificed and paid cash for them for private schools here in town, and still have one in high school for another 3 years. And she can go to our in-state school, and we can. It's a wash. We can pay cash for it, but she wants to fulfill her quote dream.
What's wrong with the in-state school in her mind?
Oh, she loves it. It was her first love, but the coach did not reach out to her and
she can't do athletics there.
No, she can. She could walk on, but this was the place she wants to go is the one place where the coach showed her some love and responded and reached out. And it's not a big sport. It's track and field. So she gets a book stipend and a little bit of help. But at the end of the day, she can go to her in-state school. I'm a Georgia resident, even though I live in Chattanooga, right outside of town. And she can get the biggest scholarship because of her ACT and AP courses, and we can pay for it in cash, and she can try to walk on. But I don't have the support of her or my wife, because my wife wants her to, quote, fulfill her dream and whatever it takes to fulfill her dream. And we're debt-free except for our house, and we're not going to take on additional debt and student loans.
Right, so you've made this clear. Yes?
I have. And my daughter says she's going to do it on her own, and she wants to pursue. And I told her the anchor and the noose around her neck for 20 or 30 years after she already gets out of school, that she's still going to be paying on this.
So she's willing to pay $152,000, go into debt for that because a coach showed her some love. That's what I'm hearing.
I'm in.
What's the academic direction? Has she expressed maybe the major or the career field that she wants to go into?
She wants to be in sports medicine, orthopedics and or rehabilitation, physical therapy. Okay. She's a good athlete.
Yeah, so
she's a good athlete, but it's not like she's playing football for this university and getting a full ride.
Well, 100%. So Richard, I've got 3 kids, so I know exactly the dilemma you're in when you tell kids this doesn't make any sense and they don't hear a word you're saying. It's like the teacher on Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah. That's all your daughter's hearing, and your wife's not helping out, which is just brutal. However, the only chance I think that you have to persuade her, because this is what this boils down to. This is a persuasion. You can't force her. She can go out and get the loans in her name, unfortunately. And these student loans, these predatory companies, the federal government, they don't give a crap about these kids.
Right.
So she can do it whether you want her to or not. So now this is a persuasion game. So here's what I think you got to do. I think you got to show her real numbers. I don't think you level-headed, sweet, kind, postured, none of that's going to get her attention. You've already tried that. So I think what you have to do is George, gave you the number, so you write down $150,000 plus on paper.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you go do the research and show her what range of salary could be in the first 3 to 5 years in any one of those 3 fields you just listed out to me, right? Okay. Go do your homework. All that's readily available. And then run the numbers. You can go find this out, but run the numbers on what her student loan payment on that kind of money is going to be per month, and just show her how long it would take to pay it off, plus what she would be paying in minimums without making any dent in it. You know what I'm saying? Just like literally take all reason and emotion out of it and just go, hey, I don't want to be obnoxious and annoying dad, but do you trust me enough to look at these numbers? And I want you to know I've done the research. I want to show you what this is going to mean to you the minute you get out of school and you have to pay these back. I think you got to show her the numbers and let her soak on that, let her chew on that, and then show her the option of going to the state school and then show her how little money she would have to pay. And you just literally paint a picture for her that is just as straightforward as she could possibly see, and see, you would have to work this amount of years to pay off this much this year. I mean, show her that whole narrative.
And there's a false narrative that if I go to this school with this coach, it's going to get me closer to my dream. But the truth is, it's going to make her further away than ever, because when she gets out of school, every bit of her income has got a name on it. It's Sally Mae.
Yeah, and Richard, this doesn't include if she wants to go sports medicine to a doctor level or to a therapist level where she's going to have to get additional training.
Correct.
So a reminder of what her goals are: to be in sports medicine as a career, not to be a track and field star for the rest of her life. So let's make that a very small part of the equation. And the bigger part, how can we do this debt-free so that you can do sports medicine wherever you want to do, get paid whatever you want to get paid, and not have to worry about payments? Because right now I'm looking at $1,600 in payments, $50,000 in interest as soon as she graduates.
And I want to go also, I'm going to lay out our budget, what we do every month, and show her what the increase would be if we paid cash for this, and then put a cap on it and say, this is what we can pay. Other than that, you're on your own and do the tough love. But we're not going to eat rice and beans and rice.
No, she can eat beans and rice.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
you want to help her avoid the stupid tax here because you love her dearly. But the truth is, she's her own person. If she wants to go down that road, like Ken said, you can't stop her. But what you can do is sit down with her as a loving dad, and not to nag her, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a link to Borrowed Future, the documentary. We're going to pay for it, so hang on the line. Austin will pick up. We'll get you a code to watch that. Maybe you go on a daddy-daughter date, and that includes watching the Borrowed Future documentary. It's 88 minutes, and I promise you, it will cause her to start asking questions.
Yeah.
It may not change her mind overnight, but she may go, hold on, Dad, you hear that story of the guy, the orthodontist who went $1 million into debt? And so I think that will help at least start a new conversation.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that, you all. One quick question, and I didn't call for that, but I appreciate that. If nothing else if I can't convince her and I'm still fighting the uphill battle with Mama and her, do I let her just take it on for 1 year and just sit back and just let her see firsthand what it's going to
Well, she won't see anything because she won't have to pay a dime until 6 months after she graduates. So she has no concept of what this payment feels like when you have a starter salary in sports medicine.
Yep.
And show her that. Show her what a starter salary in sports medicine. Show her what the taxes will be, what her net will be, how much of her income the student loan payment will be, and then show her what kind of life she's going to have.
Richard, I want to go back to two things we said earlier to remind you to answer that question. Number one, you can't control it. She can go do it if she wants to do it, and it sucks. But there's no letting her do anything. Secondly, before you sit down with your daughter and show her those numbers, that exercise I laid out, you need to show that to your wife. And I think this is the nuclear card. You look at your wife and go, babe, I'm pleading for you to support me on this and help us try to persuade our daughter. You need to look at these numbers. Do you really want her to do this? I'd go that direction too.
Well, and at this point, he just looks like the bad guy because mom and daughter are going, oh gosh, what a fuddy-duddy. He doesn't want me to have my dream.
The dream will become a nightmare.
We've seen it time and time again with this student loan crisis, guys. Avoid it at all costs. It's a plague. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to my co-host, Ken Coleman, all the folks in the booth keeping the show afloat, and to you, America. We appreciate you listening. We'll be back with you before you know it.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman here. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Get your daily dose of advice on life and money. Check out all of our shows from the Ramsey Network wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to living well. I'm George Camel, joined today by Ken Coleman, and we are taking your calls about work, life, money, relationships, career, switching jobs, switching homes, you name it, we are here for you. 888-825-5225. Joe kicks us off this hour. He's in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Joe, welcome to the show, I think. Let's see if I can get to him. Are you there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yes. How you doing today? How can we help?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I have a financial question. I recently got married, and my situation it's a little more complex with my wife's situation now, and I just wanted your direction on what we might do about it.
Okay. Lay out the picture for us.
So she has a substantial amount of student loan debt, and she paid off $30,000 last year, and she has about $150 left. I don't have any debt other than my truck. She has a car note, and I own 2 multi-unit rental properties, and I'm contemplating selling the one in order to get rid of the the student loan debt.
Okay.
But they're my babies, and I'm just calling you for some advice on it.
All right. So you got married, and you're sitting there with, what's the total debt outside of the rental properties? The 2 car loans plus the $150K. What does that add up to?
It's right around $200,000.
$200,000. And what is your household income total between you and your wife?
It is a little over $200,000.
Okay. We got a big shovel. So we've got the pile of debt there, but we can clean this up fairly quickly. What could you sell one of the rentals for? Which one do you like the least, and what could you sell it for, and what would you net?
I could sell the one and make around 70 on it.
Okay, so you'd make 70 net on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And where would you put that towards? Knock out the car loans?
Well, sure. She's a couple private loans that are, and this is why I want to do this, is because the interest rates are kind of crazy on them.
What's the interest rate?
Over 10%. Over 10% crazy.
Ouch. And what's the other rental worth if you sold that one?
That is the one we're actually living in. That's probably got about, $40,000 of equity.
Okay.
After commissions and everything.
And that's your primary residence right now. So we got it. We're hanging on to that one, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the cars worth?
She has it's a brand new Prius. So it's probably worth what she has into it. And my truck's basically worth about what I have into it, or owe on it, I should say.
Okay, so let's say you sold both cars. It'd be a wash. You'd get rid of the debt? Get rid of about $50,000 of debt?
Basically. Yeah.
How much money do you have in savings, just in liquid cash between you guys?
We really don't have anything. I just put some money into one of the rentals, so that was all of our cash.
So you got nothing in the bank right now?
We have, a couple grand.
Okay. Well, I'm selling the rental if I'm you, because this is if you want to not make this a slog, because right now, how much money could you even put towards the debt every month or every year?
Like I said, with her income alone, she put $30,000 towards it.
So you could do another 30.
And we paid for a wedding as well.
So at this point, this is a 5-year journey. If you were putting $60K, maybe 40, $50K a year. This is a long time. So I want to speed this up to where you can do this in 2 years. And that means making some sacrifices, which means I'm definitely selling the rental. Yeah. I might look at selling the cars.
Well, let's walk through that. So he makes $70,000, we hope, or maybe a little less realtor fees there. So then where does he put where would you have him put that?
I'm going to list these debts out smallest to largest. I know you've got the high interest rate student loans, but I think the progress that you're going to feel freeing up those payments as you knock out those small debts, that's going to give you the boost you need to make it through this journey.
Yeah, but George, I want to get specific for a second. Can I do that? You're the expert.
Let's get nerdy, Ken.
All right, so he sells the rental. And Joe, give us a round number. What do you think you actually walk away with after the realtor fees and everything? What's in your pocket once you sell that house, the rental?
realistically between 60 and 70.
Okay, so let's split the difference, say 65. All right, you got the two cars. That's an enormous. What are your car payments a month between those two new cars, or roughly new cars?
It's right around $1,000 a month.
Oh, baby. So George,
So if you sold the cars today, you just freed up $1,000 a month to go towards the debt.
I take the cash from the rental, all right, and I buy two cheaper cars. Now, this is going to be painful, Joe. You're not going to like this, but I'm giving you an option. But let's say you buy two $10,000 cars, short term.
Yep.
Short term, this is just to kind of speed everything up. Or even if you spent $30,000 on cars, two $15,000 cash cars.
Okay.
All right. So Georgie's got about $35,000 cash left.
Yep.
But we've gotten rid of the debt on the rental, and we've gotten rid of the debt on two cars. We've taken a huge chunk out of this, and we still have $35,000 to put towards the snowball.
What's the payment on that rental?
It's actually dirt cheap. It's $350 a month.
Okay, so now we have $1,350 though back in your life to throw at these other debts. You see what we're doing here?
And this is food for thought. Would it be worth, not throwing the if we were putting $20,000 towards the cars, the used cars, would that be worth it even though these interest rates are so high? We would kind of we wouldn't knock out that $20,000 worth of the student loan, and then we'd be getting hit with the 10% interest.
Well, you're staring at the student loan, but I'm looking at $1,350 in payments we can free up.
Yeah. We just added $1,300 to your budget.
So how quickly can we knock out those student loans?
Yeah.
So I like Ken's plan.
Okay.
I'm selling the rental. With the $65,000 you make, we're going to buy some reasonable cars.
Yeah.
Let's say $30,000 worth of car, leaving with $35,000, freeing up the rental payment, freeing up the car payments to now throw at the remaining $150,000 in student loan debt.
Okay.
And with some sacrifices and making $200,000, now we're talking we can do this in less than 2 years.
Yeah, this is a scalable mountain, but Joe, I think you need these dramatic moves to speed this up, or else this is a much longer slog. And you guys with the income, and then we're not even talking about your income potential down the line as you guys grow in your career.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and now's not the time to be doing math. The time to be doing math was when we didn't go into $200,000 of debt. So let's focus on behavior right now and changing the way that we look at money and looking at our future as a newlywed couple going, where do we want to be 5 years from now? Do we still want to be climbing out of this mountain of debt? Or do we want to be completely debt-free, making $200,000 a year, more at that point, and we can really start living our life?
Yeah.
So that's what we want for you. And you can get another rental later. We can get a Prius later. They'll still exist. They're out there. But right now, let's be about the business of cleaning up this mess so we can utilize our greatest wealth-building tool, our income. Appreciate the call, Joe. We're cheering you on, man. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality and host of The Fine Print, joined by my fellow Ramsey personality, Ken Coleman, and host of The Ken Coleman Show. We're taking your calls this hour, 888-825-5225. All right, Ken, occasionally people send me things on the internet.
Yeah.
And when enough people send me the same thing, I go, all right, I think we need to talk about this. And you love a good headline, and this one caught my attention. Here it is. You ready for it?
I'm ready. Let's go.
BMW heated seats subscription is real, and it costs $18 a month.
What?
Get this. Here's the article from Motor1.com. We've been warned about how subscriptions could become the automotive equivalent of a video game's downloadable content. We're beginning to see some more examples. On its connected drive store in South Korea, BMW owners can pay a monthly fee to have a creature comfort such as heated seats. It costs 24,000 won, or approximately $18 at current exchange rates. Alternatively, you can get a 1-year plan for $176 or a 3-year subscription for $283. A similar subscription plan is offered for heated steering wheel, and it costs $10 a month.
Okay, I got questions.
You understand what's happening here?
Well, I don't think I do, because if you're paying for the heated seats, and so let's say I sign up for this nonsense, because first of all, I think it's nonsensical. It's ridiculous. All right, but let's say I pay for it, all right? What happens if I'm delinquent, like I don't take the library book back? How are they turning the heat off in the seats? Is it something?
It's all software.
It's software. So they send a code, Ken is current, and then I can have toasty buns.
And it activates your toasted buns feature. There you go.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was trying to figure out. How do they activate the heater? This is a horrible idea.
It continues on. You want wireless Apple CarPlay? That'll be $305. One of the most unusual items found in the BMW Connected Drive store is called Iconic Sound Sport. It essentially plays fake engine noises through the car speakers. Should you be willing to pay $138 to have the feature permanently?
Is this officially only in South Korea, or is this...
It sounds like it's starting in South Korea, but I can see this taking hold.
Let me tell you something. No way this lives in America.
No American is willing to pay for that.
I'm willing to put a fun bet on this. I think that it is ludicrous. I don't think Americans will do it. I think they'll just say, forget it. I'm not doing it. Like every other car, for crying out loud, like Kia. And there's no crappy cars anymore. Everybody's got the heated seats.
Sure. But, for example, Tesla, self-driving. It exists.
Geez.
The functionality's there, but you got to pay to activate it. A Peloton. You buy a Peloton, well, you got to pay the $50 subscription fee if you want access to all the content in the screen on the Peloton.
Yeah, but when every other car on the market's got heated seats, unless you're driving something past a certain age.
I think this is going to hurt BMW's
It's going to hurt
brand.
BMW. It'll never fly here. It's ridiculous, and don't be sucked into this.
You heard it here first.
Sit on a blanket.
What's happening is companies are getting away with this whole digital subscription, monthly fee type service so they can make more money.
Okay, let me say this. If you are in any type of business, if you can find a way to come up with subscription revenue, it is smart. I do believe that it is absolutely the future.
This is not the way to do it.
But not
to nickel and dime for every feature.
I'll tell you what I would. So if I'm BMW and I'm trying to get subscription revenue,
this is free advice, BMW, if you're listening.
Yeah, I would be coming up with exclusive content. So BMW, they got some money, they got some relationships. So maybe they go to who's a popular band right now? You know these things. Or
Harry Styles.
Oh, geez.
Big Harry Styles.
So then, yeah, but you got to think of the BMW driver. They don't care about Harry Styles.
What do they listen to?
Frank Sinatra or something. I don't know.
Gosh.
Anyway, the point is, I'd be coming up with unique content that is only available through BMW listens.
There's an idea.
So if you want subscription, I can't even believe I'm doing the work for BMW. This is brilliant.
Free consulting from Ken Coleman today.
Anyway, it's not heated seats.
Well, I want people to pay attention to their money, and this is just not a good use of it. Go find you a car that has built-in heated seats instead of you paying for it forever, in perpetuity.
You know what my dad did for heated seats?
What do you do?
He went and started the car about 15 minutes early on those cold days.
Old school.
I mean, come on. Go start the car. You got to hustle out there. It's a little abrupt the first time you get in there, but you fire the car up, you turn the heat on, and guess what? The whole car's heated.
These
Novel
are some
concepts.
Some first world luxuries we have, Ken. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
back in your day, you had to walk uphill both ways. You could get respiratory arrest just doing that.
What do you think? I'm 70, George?
I don't know.
Come on. All right.
Gen X is a confusing generation.
All right. Let's help Zack. He's waiting.
Zack is on the line in Atlanta, Georgia. He regrets the 7 minutes we just took up with that. Zack, how you doing, man?
He's never going to get that part of his life back.
He'll never get it back.
Yeah.
How can we help today, Zack?
Hey, I'm not going to be buying a BMW, I can tell you
Thank
that.
you.
Hey, that's
Good
what
man.
I'm talking about. Another person helped. Where's the tote board?
Hey.
What's going on with you?
So I'm 37. I'm a single dad. My gross income is 104, and I don't have any debt except my mortgage, which I'm currently paying $500 a month extra towards. I'm going to pay my house off early.
Cool.
After all my other bills and ties, that leaves me about $1,500 left over, or $2,000 if I don't make any extra mortgage payment. And I've got about $5,000 saved up in an emergency fund. I did all the baby steps up to and including step 4. So I'm all caught up there. I was just recently divorced. During the divorce, I worked a side job or multiple side jobs to pay off $70,000 of marital debt, the support for the divorce, and legal fees. My ex-wife decided she wanted to keep our marital residence, and I was already out of the house, of course, because of the divorce. So I agreed to that, even though the mortgage was in my name only.
Oh, boy.
So the
she
deed
didn't
was in both of
refinance
our
in her
names.
name?
Well, see, that's the thing. In the court order, that was supposed to happen, but it didn't happen. And about a year
legally,
later,
it has to happen.
It still hasn't happened. Agreed. So the issue is that it can't happen, and so I have this house stuck in my name because she's not able to get a loan for it. The house needs some work before it'll pass any kind of inspection. We bought it as a foreclosure, fixer-upper, and we got about halfway through the renovation work before the divorce occurred. So I have this issue, and there is still a little bit of legal stuff pending on exactly how it's going to play out. But I have the expectation I'm willing to take this house because I owe in my name $178K on it, and the appraisal based on the mortgage company and the comps in the area, that they say it's worth over $400.
Whoa!
But it needs work
to get it there.
I'm thinking that too. So it needs some work to get it there. I just started building up my emergency fund and had a bunch of things go on this year that kind of emergencies that kind of dipped into that. So I don't really have a lot of liquid cash I don't have any really to dump into this house.
Not right now.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
You have $2,000 of margin a month that you could start socking away in the savings account to cash flow these repairs and renovations.
Correct.
Okay. Then
But
that's
I
what
would
I'm
have
going
to
to do.
still, I'd have to pay both mortgage payments.
Because
where
you're
the
paying the
issue
one on your own currently, but also on hers that she's living in. Is she paying the mortgage?
Right now, she is because she is still technically living there, but she's not physically living there.
Very confusing.
She's staying
Okay.
somewhere else.
Okay.
Yes, it is very confusing.
Well, we need to get down to the legal brass tacks of when is she getting out and what does the financial piece look like when you sell it? Because she's not going to, once she's gone, you're going to do these repairs and sell it, right?
That's what I would like to do.
Does she get proceeds from the sale as part of the agreement?
That's what we're trying to figure out. So
Yeah, but here's
originally,
the problem, Zach. You don't have the cash to fix this house up, and you won't have it anytime soon. It's going to take a lot to fix this thing up to be able to sell it for over $400,000.
I'm going to see what I can get as is for it and
Yeah.
make sure, if the renovations are $20K and it's only going to appreciate by $15,000, then it's not worth doing the renovations. So I would work with a realtor, see what you could get for it as is in this market, and maybe go down that path. But before you do that, I want to make sure that what you're doing is going to be worth it financially because of this divorce. This is real messy. So I'd talk with an attorney, I'd work with a real estate agent and start doing that homework. But, man, we got to clean this up ASAP. Wishing the best for you, man. This is The Ramsey Show. Moments when you're sitting right next to someone, but you feel 1,000 miles apart. Some of you might be feeling that way right now.
I am, and this is a little awkward to admit that, George.
Ken, two seconds away, but Ken's on his phone. He's
I'm gonna
distracted.
Slide over.
Ken is not connecting. That's the problem. We've got to put our phones down. We've substituted deep and meaningful conversations from binge watching Netflix and scrolling social media. And you guys deserve better relationships, and that means having better conversations. That's why our friend, mental health expert Dr. John Deloney, created Questions for Humans. These are conversation starters that will help you disconnect from screens and actually connect and have fun with the people you care about. So we launched the first edition of these cards a few months back, and they went gangbusters, flying off the shelves. So you guys have asked for more topics. We took the hint. We've got new ones for you. Girls' night, guys' night, dating, parents and teens, and workplace editions have been added to the lineup, and all of them will get you spending time laughing together, learning something unexpected, and building deeper and stronger relationships. So go ahead and pick up 1, 2, 3 of our new Questions for Humans conversation starters and start having fun together. You can find those at RamseySolutions.com.
I got to talk to John and the team. I got an idea while you were talking about that. I think,
oh, yeah?
I think it'd be a good one. I mean, they got 1 million of these things. So they're clearly looking for ideas.
What do you got?
Elevator edition.
Oh,
yeah, you know,
elevator conversations are very awkward.
You get in an elevator, a bunch of, you're at an office building, and it's just the awkward silence.
You just go, where are you headed? Oh, floor 4. Good floor.
And I think they need you need one of those because people aren't expecting that one.
Well,
you
and
throw
we're
one
all
out in the elevator, and then everybody's friends.
We're all facing the door. You can't sit there and stare at the person in front of you. That's awkward.
Right. And then
it feels weird to have a conversation with someone behind you.
And then there's the half-full elevator, and then you're the one person hopping on at floor number 15, and you're going up to 28.
Do you get on or do you wait?
You feel awkward. You're breaking in on the party. So I feel like this have some legs.
This feels like a Seinfeld episode. Bring it back, Jerry. Bring it back.
All right, let's go. Matthew,
Anyways.
what are we doing
We've
next?
got our Blinds.com question of the day.
I love Blinds.com.
Yeah, their 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure or you pick the wrong color, they will remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping. And with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Just use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
Today's question comes from Matt in Iowa. I have a new job opportunity, but I'm extremely nervous to take the job because it is a management position. I've had leadership roles in the past, but this is my first opportunity for management. A little confused by that statement. We'll break it down momentarily. I'm 34, and I still don't know if I'm ready for the job because it's for a company that's similar, but their terms for items are very different than what I'm used to using. Am I crazy to take the position, or should I stay at my 9-to-5 in a field I'm more comfortable with? There's a lot going on here, Matt, and I don't think you're ready to take this position for a multitude of reasons. You've had leadership roles in the past, but this is my first opportunity for management. I truly don't understand that.
Leadership assumes that you are leading people.
Yeah, and thus management. But here's what I'm seeing is the real red flag. It's a company that you said is similar to what you've done in the past, but their terms for items are very different. And I think what's going on here is a lot of overthinking going on. And so I don't know if you're ready. And I think what you've got to do is this might be something that you reach out to some people that work in that company and get to the bottom of maybe the language, but they're going to teach you the terminology or you're going to adapt to the language. So I'd be talking to people that work in the company and get a good feel for, is it a good culture? Because if it's a healthy culture, I wouldn't be worried about learning new languages, if you will, or business terms. That's going to take care of itself if it's a healthy place because they're going to really onboard you well and they're going to care for you. I think the big issue, and he doesn't ask this, George, but I'm seeing something in the data where we're seeing a lot of managers change jobs in this so-called Great Resignation. And one of the things I was reading an article, a Harvard Business Review article about this, is because here's what happens when companies see a high performer. Okay, they see a high performer and they're not in a leadership role or a management role, but they're doing a really good job. And so we want to reward them, right? And so there are really two ways to reward people traditionally, which is, okay, we're going to give you a raise and we're going to give you a promotion, more responsibility. But there is a critical error that happens when you just assume, well, George is really good at social media, and now we're going to move George into a leadership, leading other people in social media. Well, here's the deal. You may or may not really enjoy the role of leadership. Oh, you can teach leadership. You can teach good management to people. But if they don't enjoy it, it's not something that they, look forward to and to be put in that role. Or maybe they don't have a great skill set for that particular type of leadership role. Then it ends up going bad for everybody.
Yeah.
The person you've promoted into the leadership role doesn't feel like it's a fit. It becomes obvious. And now we've got a problem because we've rewarded a high performer who performed well in this seat of the bus, but's not performing well in this seat of the bus. And a lot of companies are doing this. And so if you are in that position and you're facing a potential promotion and you go, I'm not sure, really dive into it. Look into it. What does the role require? Am I wired for this? First and foremost, do I love this type of work the majority of my day? Does it produce results that I really care about? And that's why we developed the Get Clear Career Assessment, to be able to look at that kind of thing. Do I love the work, and does the work create results that matter? So in this situation, Matt, that's what you've got to be doing. You've got some red flags on your own. Dive into it deep to be able to see, is this fear, is it warranted?
Yeah, I go, is this doubt? Is this imposter syndrome? Because if it's that, we can learn, we can grow some confidence.
That's
but if the red flags are pointing to, this ain't it for me, that's okay too.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, a great salesperson gets promoted to lead a sales team and coach them.
Yeah.
Well, they may just love sales and talking with people on the other side.
Yeah.
They may not want to coach salespeople. Right. And you got to be able to parse those out and have that self-awareness.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks for the question. Matthew joins us up next in Queens. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you guys?
Great. How can we help today?
Thank you for taking my call, Jordan. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Sure.
So me and my wife were just introduced maybe about 3 months ago to Dave Ramsey. And by the way, I'm a little nervous, so just bear with me here.
You're doing great.
And we have a little bit of a dilemma here, and we're trying to see what's the best way of going about it. We're currently in baby step 2, aggressively paying back all our consumer debt. But after the consumer debt, I have these student loans that's about $200,000 that I have to start paying back as of September 1st. And I'm a government employee, and I qualify for the public service loan forgiveness as of 2025. So I have a little bit under 3 years or 3 years to qualify for the loan forgiveness. So my question is, after baby step 2 with the consumer debt, should I snowball into the student loans, or should I take that time and go into baby step 3 and have faith for the public loan forgiveness, or what should I do in terms of, putting all my eggs in that basket?
So you're telling me in 3 years you'll qualify, as in they will forgive the remainder of all loans 3 years from now, all $200K?
Exactly. All my federal student loans, which equivalent to $200,000, when I qualify, which will be in 3 years.
Yeah.
Because I'll be the 120 month mark for me, which is
what's your other debt that you have?
I have 39 in credit card debt, unfortunately. 90.
Okay.
I got to ask a quick question, Matthew. Is this a guarantee? This is actually an already existing law or executive order from the administration, and because you're a federal government employee, is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah. So that was my question as well. So I called them, and because I honestly was thinking the same thing you are, a little bit skeptic about it, and they're telling me that this is true and that I do qualify after the 10-year mark, which would be in 3 years will be my 10-year mark, and then my loans will be forgiven. So far, from the information that I got, everyone that I spoke to, only one person actually passed it and actually got it forgiven. No one else that I've spoken to have been forgiven. So I don't even know how to approach this.
I'm not going to put my hope in it, but I will do a lot of research. And if it's a sure thing, then I'm going to keep socking money away in a savings account. And 3 years from now, if it's forgiven, you've got a pile of money in your life. And if not, you've got a pile of money to throw at that debt. But I'm not banking on it until I got a real assurance that this is going to go through.
Yeah, George, it doesn't pass the smell test to me.
There you go. From the mouth of the horse. Our scripture of the day, Jeremiah 9:23. This is what the Lord says. Let not the wise boast of their wisdom, or the strong boast of their strength, or the rich boast of their riches. Anne Frank once said, human greatness does not lie in wealth or power, but in character and goodness. I love that. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. I'm George Camel, joined today by Ken Coleman. Shiloh joins us up next in Dallas, Texas. Shiloh, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. How are you?
Great. How can we help today?
So I graduated college in December, and I've been on the fence about going and getting my master's in a different field. And so right now I am an executive assistant with my degree in business management. And then I'm wanting to get my master's in dietetics and go the registered dietitian route. And so I just don't know if that's like wise choice financially or if I should stay in the business field or what y'all's opinion is.
Yeah. Well, Shiloh, I don't ever give people advice to just, hey, stay in the safe career that just it's a good check, it's good benefits, because you're going to end up regretting that. And you are kicking the tires on the idea of being a dietitian for a reason, I'm guessing. And especially now, so that you're actually out there in the real world, having got a degree, and you're in the business world, and yet you're still being pulled to being a dietitian. And I'm just curious, what's pulling you that direction?
I think that's what I always have wanted to do. I went into college as a sophomore, and then I was so close to finishing my my associate's degree. My parents were like, just finish that in business and then maybe think about it. Well, then COVID hit, and I was taking summer classes. So I graduated college in 2.5 years, and so I never really stopped to think about redirecting.
Mm-hmm.
But that's always still been what I wanted to do.
Okay, you're going to have to humor me here because I don't know much about, the dietitian field. How much value is there in a master's degree, or is it an absolute requirement to actually be a dietitian?
So in 2024, it will be a requirement for all registered dietitians to have a master's degree. And most programs, I found one program where I can only get I can just get my master's, but most others make you pretty much have to have a bachelor's and a master's to become a registered dietitian. But the one I found is career towards, or focused towards career changers. And so it allows you to go in with any bachelor's.
Okay. All right. So let me ask you this. So you could beat the 2024 rush, presumably, correct? You could.
But, once 2024 hits, you're going to have to go back and get your master's.
Oh, I see. It's one of those retro. You'd have to go back and get it. Okay, I'm sorry. I misunderstood.
Yes.
All right. Tell me this.
That's my fault.
Yeah. What's the difference between dietitian and nutritionist?
So a nutritionist, you do not have to have a degree, and you're probably not going to be, your earnings are, there's not as good, much security in the position because you don't have to have that degree and you can just do trainings. Anyone can call themselves a nutritionist, but you have to sit for boards and exams to be a registered dietitian and have a degree.
Okay. And what is this master's degree going to cost you?
It would be around $40,000.
Okay. And how much cash do you have set aside for that?
So I had to take off work and be on medical leave for about 3 months. And so right now I only have about $1,500 in savings. I have $1,000 or about $1,200 in a Roth IRA and then $1,000 in emergency fund.
Okay. So here's what I'm hearing is that you really want to be a dietitian. There's some, you've always wanted to be a dietitian. Have you spent any time with a practicing dietitian, or have you just been so busy with school and work? Okay. So you've done enough research, even shadowing, spending time with them to know this would light my heart on fire. If I just snap my fingers right now, Shiloh, and you didn't have to get a master's degree and I could put you in a dietitian role, you feel like, hey, this would be so fulfilling. This would be something that I've always wanted to do.
Yes.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. I got good news and bad news. The bad news is you don't have the money right now to be able to afford the master's. The good news is you will eventually, and the dietitian role will still be relevant and still be there. So I think this is a buckle down, go really hard. as an in the professional world, you're making a good salary. You've had some health issues, and so you need to save up some money. But the reality is that you can save up $40,000 faster than you think you can, even with a second job, selling stuff, whatever you got to do. Here's another idea. Look for the opportunity to get the cheapest possible master's degree. Could you find a master's degree in this dietitian field that's less than $40,000? If so, do it, because here's what I can guarantee you, Shiloh. Your ability to become a dietitian is all based on you, not where you get the master's, because you're still going to have to sit for the boards, show them the degree, and nobody cares where you went to school.
I want to challenge you, Shiloh. I just did a quick search, and based on my search, dietitians and nutritionists, about the same median salary.
Ah, interesting.
And so if that means I can be a nutritionist and not get the master's degree and not go $40,000 into debt and do the dream faster, that might be an option for you.
Okay.
And Shiloh, George, thank you for doing that, because here's the thing, Shiloh. No, seriously, I was walking through. I'm glad you did the research. What if, Shiloh, you could move from being an executive assistant to be a practicing nutritionist and get paid well and be in a good company or a good situation, and you're saving up, and then if you felt like, okay, to go to the next level or to max out in this area, but at least you're in the field and you're practicing, you got all this experience, and you're saving up money in that field. And then if you really feel like down the road, I want to get that master's, now we can cash flow it. What about that option?
Right. That sounds good.
I feel good about this already. What do you make as an executive assistant?
I'm at 50 right now.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, listen, you can work your way up in that if you go with the first option. Executive assistants can make as high as six figures.
Yeah.
In the right place, the right company.
So that's why I was like, well, is that kind of like silly to go back and go a different route when
it's not silly.
No.
I just want you to do what we want you to do it the right way at the right place.
What I'm saying is you can increase your income as an executive assistant over the next 2 to 3 years, which will allow you to make more money. If you don't want to go the nutritionist route and you want to do the dietitian route and the master's, what I'm saying is you can grow professionally as an executive assistant. I mean, you got a degree in it.
Right.
I mean, I'm just trying to paint a positive picture that you can make really good money, save up money, invest in your 401k, you have no debt, get out of debt, all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then cash flow your way through. You got options. I just don't want you to go get a loan for a master's degree. It's not worth it. I'd rather you wait a couple of years than go get the degree, get the job, and be digging out from underneath a mountain of debt.
I don't want you to back yourself into a corner where you imagine that you only have two options. One is go $40,000 into debt to do the dream, or the other is stay in a job I don't like forever. Those aren't the options. And so I want you to just expand your horizons and go, hey, what if I could be an executive assistant for a dietitian? That would be cool. I'll get my foot in the door. Proximity principle.
Folks.
Now I'm in the field I want to be in, and they'll hire you on as you get the education. They might even pay for it.
Folks, the camel is sharp.
Light bulb just went off, Ken.
He's sharp.
I might go do this. I'm more excited than Shiloh is.
Right.
I'm pumped.
But
what do you think
Shiloh,
about that?
Hey, what George said is another really awesome option. You know? You talk about getting into the field and making things happen. I love this. So no debt, right, Shiloh? You're not going to do debt.
Not an option.
Right.
And then we get creative and go, if debt's not an option, how are we going to get there? What's the right path to where we can do this and it's not going to become a nightmare financially?
I like it. Shiloh, thank you so much for calling us.
Love the call.
Yeah.
We're pumped for you. And my wife is an executive assistant, so I got to say shout out to all the executive assistants out there.
It's very exciting.
You can make great money. It's a great role.
Very exciting.
Hey, that puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. My thanks to Ken Coleman, my co-host, all the folks in the booth. You, America, will appreciate you. Until next time, spend wisely, save intentionally, and give generously. Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.